Hey, hey, what's up, NDC? Welcome to NDC TV Live presents Meet the Candidates. I'm your host, Sharufa Walker, founder, entrepreneur, building social impact solutions here in Web3. And I'm super excited because the polls are open. 29 candidates, three houses. And now is the time for you to get out, use your voice, use your vote because everyone matters. We're giving you a one on one inside exclusive with the candidates today. So, today we're jumping right into it with Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hello, good morning. How are you
Morning.
today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing excellent so far. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, we're going to get right into it. Let the
Great.
community know, who are you and what brought you to Near?
Um, well, I'm Jeff Cole. I'm a co-founder of Near Hub in Tamago. I'm a council member on the Human Guild DAO, and then working with the gaming work group that's going to be launching soon as well. Been building on Near for a bit over 2 years now. Um, the tech is what brought me here. The community is what kept me here.
Mhm.
The community on here is awesome. It's everyone has kind of the same goals at heart. Everyone wants everything to kind of succeed and achieve together. And yeah, it's a great environment.
That's amazing. So let us know, what are you running for? What house?
Council of Advisors.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah, and basically to would like to just make sure that the community and the ecosystem follows in a path to success and funds are used correctly, people are supported correctly, and it's distributed to community as well as projects, not just going to a few projects, but making it so we can all grow together.
That's amazing. So, in thinking about the responsibility of the Treasury to be able to grow the community, if you're in this position, what are you going to do? What are your plans to be able to make sure that this Treasury is used effectively, cost effectively?
Um, well, essentially, with this position, kind of reviewing proposals that are coming in, looking at making sure that everything is in line with kind of what as a community we decide are our goals to move forward. So just without sounding too boring, just doing the job.
No, that's important though, right? Everyone coming in with their focus and their intention, right? So
Yeah.
in thinking about the community and the diversity within the community, right? How is it that you envision being able to ensure that there is an equal opportunity given to everyone within the community, within the ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like for myself, I believe that work should be paid the same for people for the end result, regardless of any other factor, whether it's um, sex, race, location, especially location. Like, I don't see why someone doing the same job with the same quality in one, but they are living in a house somewhere where someone else doing the same job in another house will get paid 2 or 3 times that amount. I think the end result should just that job is worth that much, and whoever completes it makes that much money. But like, because especially in kind of developing countries as well, if someone has a way that they can make a kind of universally Western standard kind of wage, they're going to put a lot of effort into it and help onboard a lot of people to do the same. If it's kind of just like, oh, well, you live over there, here's that, it's not going to be able to create the same kind of inclusivity and onboarding.
Yeah, I think that that's really powerful because emerging markets are big, right?
Yeah,
And, we talk about onboarding the next billion, but in order to be able to do that, you have to be able to speak to emerging markets, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
you having that in mind is, a powerful position, right? So in thinking about your journey, right? Why Web3?
Um, so that started kind of around 2017. It was around 2016, 17, was playing around with a little bit of mining, but was just doing it on my home computer. So it wasn't really anything too amazing at the time. I need to find those old hard drives though, because it has been 7 years of sitting there. Um, but I kind of forgot about it for a bit. And previous to Web3 was DJing and producing for 20 years, had a club, a record shop for a while. And then when COVID came around, kind of started to realize that code ruled the world and I was illiterate, and set out to change that. So started kind of studying a lot, taking different courses, boot camps, hackathons, just kind of trying to just see as much of it as possible, absorb as much info, and that kind of hasn't stopped since then. Um, but yeah, and just Web3 was just in line more with my values.
Mm.
Like it just makes more sense. Um, we have a ways to go before it hits the idealistic version of it, but it is in the right track. And I like the fact that anyone can, it's kind of like the other part, like anyone can do what they want. If they can do it correctly, they can be successful. They don't have to have X piece of paper saying that they know how to do something. If it's done correctly, they can create something amazing and help other people have fun or grow or earn or just build together.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thinking about, permissionless, right? And decentralization and the inclusivity of everyone being able to participate, right? Regardless of so many barriers that we're so accustomed to throughout the world. So, in thinking about this new opportunity with this V1 governance, right? Like this is historic, it's monumental for Near. Do you truly believe that decentralized governance is possible?
Yes, I do. I think it'll, for purely decentralized governance, well, this is an amazing first step towards it. And over time, the process will get more ironed out. It'll get smoother. It'll become more of an official process. Um, and I believe it, if done correctly, it can be better than traditional systems that we have. Is people based on merit as opposed to all the other factors. What have you done? Not what, like, but yeah. Sorry, get more coffee. It's still early.
All good. It's totally fine. I think that you are very hopeful, right? Because it sounds like ultimately one day you believe that decentralized governance could ultimately replace the way that we normally govern right now, which is really, really powerful, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Like
so
even
let's
elections, if the last elections in the States was done on blockchain, none of the arguments that have been happening would be happening.
right.
Like it's on an immutable ledger. There it is. Go look. Right.
Totally. I think there are a lot of learnings, a lot of um, obvious insights, right? That we can kind of infuse
Reflect.
into what we got
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, yeah. So, excuse me. In thinking about the future, right? So you're running for council of advisories, right? You get the seat, Jeff. So you're in there. Now, 6 months, you're in there. What do you feel like is success? What do you look back on and say, like, wow, okay, I really love the fact that we were able to get this done? What does success look like for you after this first term of 6 months?
Um, I guess the top things: community gets funding replaced. The community's been going for almost a year without funding, and can see it in the projects and the activity in the ecosystem. Like, went from hundreds of different things down to just a few core ones that are still fighting through it. Um, Making sure money's not spent poorly and just thrown around frivolously, and there's actually, like, if money's going out, it's going to help achieve one of the goals, not just might be a cool idea. um, and then, as well, I think one of the main ones is to make sure that there's a good template framework for future bodies to come in, and, like, there'll be a future body so they can make up their own rules, but at least there'll be a good infrastructure for them to either base it off of or be like, give a starting point to correct from. Because it's easier to take a for me, it's easier to take a page and edit it than start with a blinking cursor going like, think of everything right now. Whereas if you're editing, you can kind of just be like, oh, no, not that. I want it to say this instead. And then
Right.
it's easy and you know what it is and it just comes out quick. So at least we can give a good framework and ideally a system that doesn't need to be revised, but at least have everything in place for them to make for a smooth transition.
Yeah, that's really amazing because a few of the candidates that we've been chatting with have brought up thinking about V2, right? Like the responsibility in coming in this inaugural group, that you have to be able to immediately think about the group that comes right behind you, right? And so, I think that that's super duper dope that you're already leading with that energy. And so thinking about like the future for near, right? As a protocol, as an ecosystem, what are some of the things that you plan to do to be able to assist with the scalability of near?
Um, it's a great question for the morning.
Okay, I was just about to say, I got you. What? But take your time. Not a whole lot of time, but take your time. Yeah.
um, More, are you kind of more on the tech or people side of
Oh,
scaling?
it's what you choose, right? Like however you would like to answer, there's not a response that I'm fishing for.
Um, the tech side, I think it's going in the right place. There's kind of validators are exponentially getting bigger each year, and I don't foresee that stopping as time goes on. For scaling the community, I think Boss is a good first step, and then as more people kind of create their own gateways with different services that can just be deployed directly on chain, um, I think that's going to be a big part in kind of getting to the billion users. And I was thinking about it the other day as well. With the billion users, some people look at that as like there's not many companies that have hit a billion users ever. um, but as a protocol level, it doesn't need to be like Facebook and have a billion users that are logging in to near.org. It's kind of across the platform. Like, so really, if there's 200 projects that hit 5 million users, that's a billion users as well, which in my mind is kind of a more achievable number than trying to hit the one Facebook or Google of the future, whereas can diversify it into a ton of different projects and incubate the different projects to all kind of grow as an ecosystem together. We can hit the billion in theory on.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, and there's strength in numbers, right? So bringing
Yeah.
together those micro, right, projects to be able to hit that target is really, really powerful. And it's an easy strategy, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
I find it more achievable than figuring out how to hit a billion users. Because
Yeah.
how do
Yeah.
you do that?
Okay, so you've been in the ecosystem for a while, right? Like you have a great background coming from DJing, going in and having your pandemic pivot into the space. Give us your assessment of the good, the bad, the ugly of near, right? Like let the voters know about what you understand from your journey.
um, it's it's changed a lot and kind of gone in like a full cycle. Um, when I got into Near, it was around July 21 or summer ish, kind of 21. And it was kind of right before it just started doing its constant all time highs all the way up for the next year. Um, and the growth and community and building was the vibe was awesome. Everyone was super helpful. Um, yeah, it was just it was kind of like being in a small town where like
Mhm.
everyone kind of knows each other, connects, and then like as it grows, it's like you still have that connection, but it there's more different people. So it's kind of, well, it's been a lot like living in a small town growing up. Like here, I live in Playa del Carmen. When I got here, it was 18,000 people about 12, 13 years ago. Now it's over 350,000 or something. So it's been like doubling every year pretty much for a decade. Well, for a while now, it's kind of been tapering up. Anyway, the reason I kind of bring that up, like when it was first here, it was just a small little town, and now it's kind of a small city. But like back then, it was an amazing place for a vacation. Now it's an amazing place to live. Whereas before it was great, but if you need anything, you have to drive to, Cancun or go somewhere else or order it or whatever. Now everything is here. There's everything's local. Near is kind of the same. At the beginning, it was just like a really close knit group, and there wasn't that much here, so everyone was kind of working together and building. And there's still that vibe, but there's also has that kind of city feeling is where there is all the different kind of pieces around. So it's just kind of getting it to the next level to help it
Yeah,
excel in
I
a
love that
long
analogy.
around.
I love the analogy of the small town. That was the first time I heard that, and I can totally see that. So that's amazing. Okay, so Jeff, in these final minutes here, let the people know they're at the polls, looking to be able to vote for the Council of Advisors. Why you? Why now?
um, well, I guess if anything I've said earlier resonates with you, that's the reason. Um, I'm terrible at like hyping myself up.
Come on, Jeff, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Just give
um,
a recap of what you just said then.
yeah, basically just kind of gonna push for equality, push for growth, make sure that things are going in the right way, and help to set up things for the future.
That's amazing. Well, best
Short
of
version.
luck to you, Jeff.
Thank you.
All the luck in the world. Let the people
Thank you.
know what's your handle.
Jgold.new.
All right, jgold.near. Get out and vote. Thank you so much, Jeff, for coming through,
Thank you.
chatting with us today.
Appreciate being here.
Your voice, your vote matters. Get out and vote. September 22nd is the deadline. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube to be able to stay connected to these candidates. All right, y'all. To the next one.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.